The Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Deputy Speaker, my question without notice goes to the good Treasurer. Mr. Speaker, the whole country is aware that we have currency in free fall, the devaluation of the Kina. And this has continued to exacerbate the cost of living crisis. Inflation is still high. The average Papua New Guinean cannot afford the price of tin fish and rice. So my question to the good Treasurer is, what is he doing about this devaluation of the Kina? When will it stop? And when will he start to effectively tell the people of Papua New Guinea how he is going to reduce inflation? Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the Deputy Opposition Leader for his 2 or 3 pertinent questions. I want to thank him for his good concerns on the issues he's raised based on some very wrong facts. So let me just correct him. He did mention our question. He has been telling this Parliament and the members of and the people of Papua New Guinea that the Kina has been in free fall. Mr. Speaker, a lot of his questions I feel are deceitful. A lot of his statements are deceitful because he continues to paint a really wrong picture of how the economy is really going. So I appreciate the opportunity to clarify some of those concerns. On his claim that the Kina is in free fall, Mr. Speaker, let me provide the facts to the Parliament this morning. Let's compare the Kina to the Australian dollar, where the bulk of our commerce transacts, and value the Kina to the US dollar. And I'll use the starting point as April. That's a good starting point because that's the time the IMF program started and when there was a controlled depreciation, not devaluation of Kina to deal with our foreign exchange issue that he's asked us. So starting from April 2023, Mr. Speaker, the value of the Australian dollar to the Kina was 0.4296. That was the exchange rate. As of 1st of September this year, it's dropped to 0.3773 exchange rate. That's a drop of 12.2%, Mr. Speaker. A fall of 12.2%. For the US dollar, at April 2023, the exchange rate was 0.2840, and now nearly 18 or 17 months later, it sits at 0.2568, a drop of 9.6%. So, Mr. Speaker, the Kina is not in free fall. Mr. Speaker, the Kina is being treated as part of a two-pronged approach to deal with our foreign exchange problem. So I wanted to clear that. What plans have we got to stop depreciation of Kina? Again, Mr. Speaker, it's a good concern, but it's just a wrong question. The Kina is not devaluing, Mr. Speaker. The Kina is depreciating. Mr. Speaker, there is a difference, and perhaps we could sit back, learn something this morning. Mr. Speaker, the Kina, when we talk about a devaluation, Mr. Speaker,
President, we have a point of order. Member for Medding, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd just like to, point of order is in relation to the statement made by the good Treasurer. When you devalue something, it loses value. When you depreciate something, it loses value. They're the same. So to avoid any confusion about people out there, his earlier statement to say devaluation, I know they're in with economic terms, they use them for different meanings. But for ordinary people out there, devaluation and depreciation, meaning losing value. Thank you.
Honourable member for Mereng, I think the minister is still on his explanation on the
Thank
question,
you,
so I'll allow the minister to continue.
Speaker. If I could just correct my good friend, the newly welcome back member for Madang. There is a distinct difference between devaluation and depreciation, Mr. Speaker. A devaluation is a formal decision made by the central bank where the value of the Kina will sit at a specific exchange rate. The depreciation is a strategy, Mr. Speaker, set by the central bank, supported by government, where the value of the Kina will drop and then will increase, Mr. Speaker. That's the point of difference. If we care to listen, Mr. Speaker. So what plans do we have? What plans do we have? Mr. Speaker, they've asked a question, they should allow me to try and answer it.
Honourable Treasurer, we have a point of order.
Try to interject.
We have a point of order. I'll question it out.
Deputy Speaker, the good treasurer is chasing his tail. When he's talking about the drop in the value, and he's just using semantics to colour up the definition, the depreciation of the Kina, Deputy Speaker, will cause a rise in prices. This is what's affecting Papua New Guineans. So we want to know what he's going to do about it. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader, you have asked a question, and I think the Treasurer have already taken that. I think Honourable Opposition members, I would ask you to make your chairs noise a bit down, so let the Treasurer explain to us. This is a very important question, and we would like to see the Treasurer answer this question for the public consumption. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. So, in relation, if I can now try to answer the question, what plans do we have to address the high cost of living? What plans do we have to address our foreign exchange problems, stop the depreciating? Mr. Speaker, can I just say that at this point in time, I want to put the question in context. There has never been any government, 49 years since independence, put forward a plan to deal with our foreign exchange. This government, for the first time, Mr. Speaker, is addressing that. The same as we addressed the debt issues, which was a concern when we took over office, and we responded with a 13-year budget repair plan endorsed by all of our international partners and endorsed by our bilateral partners. We are doing the same with foreign exchange. So, Mr. Speaker, we have a two-pronged approach. We have a short-term plan and we have a long-term plan. Our short-term plan, Mr. Speaker, is a 50-step pathway that is to be implemented by the central bank and with technical support provided by IMF. I'm happy to go into greater detail on that, and if the member wishes to provide me a query on that, I'm prepared to give him a very detailed report. The long-term plan, Mr. Speaker, which we hope to announce shortly after endorsement from both the IMF and World Bank, is one that falls under fiscal reforms or microeconomic reforms, and that is one to grow the economy. So, Mr. Speaker, firstly on our short-term plan, what we're trying to do, Mr. Speaker, is deal with a very simple problem. It's a very simple problem that has a very complex solution. And that is, when we have a problem that we're facing today, it's a supply and demand issue. It's a supply and demand issue. The The problem, Mr. Speaker, today is that we don't have enough supply of foreign exchange to meet demand. So the clear solution is increase supply or reduce demand. Yeah. So in our short-term problem, we're dealing with the demand side, and what we're doing, Mr. Speaker, is we're entering in what's called a crawling peg strategy to depreciate the value of the Kina, over a short-term period, Mr. Speaker, so that it will encourage foreign direct investment back into Papua New Guinea. Yeah? The reason, Mr. Speaker, why foreign direct investment does not come into PNG is because there is justified belief that the Kina is overvalued compared to a basket of currencies and overvalued to the US dollar. At this time, as I stand here, the assessments by the IMF is that Kina is overvalued by around 16%. So if you're an investor wanting to bring your money into Papua New Guinea, if you're an investor wanting to bring your funds into Papua New Guinea and you know that the Kina is overvalued by 16%, well, clearly you're going to be reluctant to do that, Mr. Speaker. And we all know if you want to grow our economy, there are two ways. We can grow the economy organically, as we've been doing by increasing our capital budget, and we've done that, 10.3 billion this year compared to the other side at 4.6 when we took over. If you want to transform the size of our economy much faster, Mr. Speaker, you need FDI. We've got that at the moment in the resource sector, yeah, but we want that spread in all of our other sectors, especially agriculture. So what do we need to do, Mr. Speaker? We need to depreciate the value of the Kina to what we call a clearance rate, and that's about a 16% depreciation. Once that happens, Mr. Speaker, then we expect that foreign direct investment will come back in. And Mr. Speaker, there are some positive signs already, if I can share with members of Parliament. There are some positive signs already of increased foreign direct investment coming into PNG. If we look at the amount of monies or US dollars that came in when this program started in Q2 2023, in April 2023, there was about 1.23 billion US dollars coming in for that quarter. If you move it forward to July of this year, that increased to about 1.49, Mr. Speaker, billion US per quarter. That's about a 23% increase in new money coming in to Papua New Guinea. It seems like our program is working, Mr. Speaker. It seems like our program is working. And at this point in time, I say it seems like it's working because no one's ever had a plan before, including my good friend that's just about to ask.
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order.